Hi, this is Jen from the Crocheters of Awesome blog, and I'm here with my weekend update. I got a lot of positive response last time that these videos are kind of fun and a nice way to see the projects rather than just a couple of photos. So I'm going to keep this up until somebody tells me to stop. But first of all, how's it been for the last couple weeks? I've been doing pretty well. I'm on the upswing of my Remicade, so I've been able to get a lot of things done around the house and personally, family time, things like that. In fact, last weekend we had a bridal shower for my youngest daughter, and while there weren't many of us there, it was beautiful and meaningful and just absolutely wonderful for us to show her how much we love her. And that reminded me that Steve and I have some downtime coming, thank goodness. We've got a couple of days off and we're going to enjoy every minute of it. I think that's something that we tend to forget in our self-care is just downtime. We might have a quiet time, like the time that I crochet. I might be watching Netflix or, whatever. I feel like I'm relaxing, but that's not the same as mental downtime. And so I'm really looking forward to that. Of course, with food allergies, celiac, and all my other environmental allergies, I'll be bringing 100% all my own food, bringing my own pillow and blankets. For the hotel, I'll be asking the hotel not to clean our room while we're there because the chemicals get me going. We have this whole protocol going on. So now I'm curious for those of you with other issues. Oh, and I got to bring the cane and all the other stuff too, just in case I need it. If you have protocols and how you travel, sometimes it's a big chore. So I find it easier when we drive someplace. I can pack up the car with stuff, and if I need it, I need it. If I don't need it, I don't need it. But if we go farther afield, farther than we can drive, I get nervous about that a little bit. So let me know what you think. Those of you who are kind of battling health and chronic pain and things like that, how do you travel and how do you manage things? If you've got food allergies, how do you manage those on the road? All right, so now I have to check my notes, but I wanted to let you know I had something really exciting happen yesterday. The world works in mysterious ways, as they say. So here I am in Hobby Lobby trying to get one more skein of yarn for this project. It's going to be in my whip pile later. And I noticed that the purple yarn is on sale. It's on clearance. So it must be a shade that they're discontinuing or something like that. So I picked it up to look at it and thinking it's kind of a medium purple, but I don't really have a project for it. And as I'm standing there thinking about it, a woman comes up in purple from head to toe, even down to her French manicure nails were purple, everything. She's gorgeous. And she asked me about the things that you use to turn cotton into yarn. So I asked her if she was going to try to learn to spin herself. You can't get that in a chain craft store, but I could help her, with what she should order, like a student spindle, drop spindle or something, supported spindle. And turns out she is speaking at a women's conference next week and is talking about their theme is fabric. So she's taking cotton and using cotton as an example of how women tend to hold on to things, because cotton can be light and airy and comfortable, but it can also be heavy and dense. And I thought that was a great analogy. So as we were talking, I said, I have a spindle and I have some newly spun cotton yarn that I would be happy for you to use in your display for your meeting. So I'm going to let her borrow my student spindle and this cotton yarn that I spun for the Adventures in Fleece and Fiber, Blaine Fleece and Fiber. It's only about 40 yards, so there's not a whole lot I can do with it other than add it to something else. And so if she can use it, as you can still see the seeds and all that kind of stuff in there, if she can use it as part of her display, that's awesome. I think I'm going to try to crochet some of it up so she's got fabric and yarn. And I think that'll be fun and it'll be a great way to contribute, empower women. Go, hurrah. So I'll let you know how that goes. Finished objects. My Helix scarf. Look. Entwined Helix by Kim Guzman. You can see that wavy design in the back. But if I go like this and move it up, you can see that smooth stitch. And remember, this is how it looked on the back. The waves are actually on the back for the return pass, because this is in Tunisian drop stitch. It's gorgeous and it's wonderful and it's soft and fluffy, and I think it's going to go on vacation with me. So I got that done. Yay! I have one other finished project, and that is also vacation oriented. What do you think? Enough for sun? Yeah, I don't know about the brim so much. It's a little more Annie Hall. What do you think? But it will definitely do the job for me, and it will be comfortable. It's in cotton, so hopefully it won't get too heavy. I do have wire in the brim to kind of keep that shape there, and that's why I can flip it up and do crazy things with it. But my head and my body are much bigger than the designer's, because this isn't even close to as wide as I want, but it's so heavy in cotton that I would never get it to hold up if I did any less. That said, I really like this yarn. It's Bernat Softy Cotton. I don't know if you can see that. And this is Lavender Fields. I bought a bunch of skeins to try this out, and I really like it. It's a cotton acrylic blend. It would be great for, you could use it for a garment, but I don't know if it's quite soft enough for that, but it'd be great for bags. Like I need to make a bag to match that tote, and any utilitarian things. It's not enough cotton to use for, say, dishcloths. It's really more for decorative things, but it's wonderful. The Beachy Day Sun Hat pattern was by Jennifer Pionk, P-I-O-N-K, in case you want to look for it. As you can see, I didn't get very far in my spinning whip. That's because my fingers aren't really super happy right now, and a lot of drafting just gets them going, and if we're going to be gone for a couple of days, I'm trying to take it easy on that. But I will get to that. Whips. So you know I've been in cowls. I have whips. I'm in these cowls where once a week you get a clue, and you work that clue, and then you have to wait until the next one before you can continue. This is Atlanticus after week 4, and that's by Vanessa Smith, Hooked on Sunshine. Isn't that pretty? In all those purples though, you can see how it's going to be absolutely gorgeous. And this is the one where I'm also making it in red, and let me show you that one because it's pretty amazing. After clue 4, it's much bigger, right? Because I'm using a bigger hook and it's a heavier yarn, but look at the way those colors are working out. My daughter's going to love it. So that first one was in Yarn Bee, Baby Bee, Sweet Delight. I just grabbed a whole bunch of purples. And then the second one was in a cake yarn, which was Premier Sweet Roll in Wild Cherry and Cherry Swirl. I've been alternating them. New projects. My next cow whip. That's 3 blanket whips summer. Not sure what I was thinking. But I know that by the end of summer I'm going to have some fantastic blankets. This one is called the Penny Drops, and it's in Tunisian crochet. You see those stitches? It's mostly simple stitch, and I'm making it in Yarn Bee Sweet Roll, which is a nice cake yarn. And then my contrasting color is, I love this yarn, in Coffee. So right now I have this great orange going, but eventually I'm going to get to those greens. It's going to be pretty amazing. This is just one panel. The Penny Drops is actually in 3 pieces. You do 2 side panels and then a center piece, and then they go together. It's really cool. So you could check it. You should check it out. It's on, let me spell it, because it's perfectamusements.com. Sandy Walker, PURFECTAMEWSMENTS.com. I know. She must be a cat lover, right? So from that, though, all these different yarns working on these blankets, you can tell that I prefer acrylics for blankets. And I do because they're easy care, they're washable, machine washable, they're pretty indestructible. I can let the grandkids use them, and I don't have to worry about spills or anything else. I can just toss it in the washer and it'll look exactly the same when it comes out as it did when it went in. That's what makes this great for blankets. They'll last forever. But not all acrylics are created equally. There are some brands that I have a hard time using. So I'm curious, for those of you that are sensitive about fibers, if there are acrylic brands that you have trouble using. I think it's probably different for all of us. And I've decided that it really comes down to the manufacturing. Either their process or how they create the yarn, or the chemicals that they use in the process, or the dyes that they use in the process. I'm not exactly sure what the deal is, but I think that's why so there's some brands, no matter what kind of yarn they have, whether it's their basic acrylic or a soft acrylic or anything else, I just can't use anything in those brands. Some brands are completely okay. So I think there might be other people like that too. So I'm just curious. Let me know what you think. So along with that, you saw that I have a couple of cake yarns going. I've got the Premier Sweet Roll going for my Atlanticus cowl, and then I have the Yarn Bee Sugar Wheel. I love how they try to get super close to each other, going for my new the Penny Drops. And I just love the colors, but I'm also, kind of doing a little bit of a comparison. I know we've been talking about it at Hogwarts and Ravelry with a couple of my friends over there, and we're all curious to try them because long color changes are not very common in yarns that are long enough for crocheters to actually get the effect of a long color change. Because our stitches are taller, our sections end up being shorter, and then it looks chunky and it pulls funny. So I'm really curious to see how these long color change yarns work. And like with that red Atlanticus, it really was beautiful. So I have a couple different ones here that I want to show you, and I want to tell you all the deets. So first, Sugar Wheel, because this is the one I was just working on. Okay, so this is Yarn Bee. It's at Hobby Lobby. It's a lot like I Love This Yarn. If you have used that before, that's why I'm using I Love This Yarn as the contrasting color. It is 7 ounces and 355 yards in this, and it looks like you just get one color all the way through instead of repeating, which helps, right? So next, sorry, losing my Tunisian hook. Next is that Sweet Roll I was using. And this is what Sweet Roll looks like, and you can tell that the colors repeat. Red, orange, burgundy, red, orange. I mean, that's okay, but it is kind of nice to have the longer color changes too. So this one's by Premier, and it is 5 ounces and 245 yards. And then we have, I picked up some Bernat Pop. This is Paisley Pop, and again, it looks like one run of each color. Starts with green and ends in green. They all start and end with the same color so that you can move them through, but you do have to look through because some say will start and end with the pink. So if you can get green rolls, then you can just keep going. So Bernat Pop, let me do a quick label read here, is 5 ounces and approximately 280 yards. This one's really smooshy. And then last but not least is Lion Brand Mandala, which has been really hard to find. Look at those colors. This is gnome, so it's definitely a rainbow. One color of each. This is much finer. The others are all category 4, and some are heavier. So Sweet Roll, I would say, is lighter. Bernat Pop is fluffier, and Sugar Wheel is thicker even yet. This is number 3, which would be a light worsted sport DK, something along those lines. This is 5.3 ounces and 590 yards. You could easily get a shawl out of one of these skeins, which, by the way, was at Walmart for $4.97. You can't beat that. So yardage wise, I think softness wise, this is the best one. My next favorite, squishy wise, is the Bernat Pop, then the Premier Sweet Roll, And unfortunately, last but not least is the Yarn Bee Sugar Wheel, and that's just because it feels a little bit more like a basic acrylic. It doesn't have that extra soft feel, and even in the blanket I can tell I'm going to have to wash it. The colors are great and everything, and it's going to be super durable, but it's just not quite as soft as I was hoping it would be. So again, have you used cake yarns? What do you think? Which ones are working best for your crochet projects? I'll be curious to see how this Tunisian project works compared to the traditional crochet. All right, so then I had a question on YouTube from Linda. Hi. And I said, as I'm going to say to everybody, if you have any questions or you want me to talk about something in particular, like the cake yarns or, you know, something specific like that, let me know. If I have any information on it, I'll share it. And if I don't, I'll say so. But she asked about crocheting socks. And a lot of people think that you can't crochet socks, that they're bulky and uncomfortable, and the knots in each stitch hurt your feet and all those kinds of things. And I say, nay. It depends on the yarn you use. It depends on the stitch you use. And even patterns that use single crochet, there's ways to get around that. You can use extended single crochet, and I have a tutorial for that on the single crochet page of my blog. Or you can work sideways and do slip stitches like in my favorite socks, which look a little unfinished, but they're not, because I have really bad arthritis in my toes and my feet. So I make these socks specifically without the heel and the toe. You can tell I've done a row of edging just to leave it that way. But these are my favorite. They are cabled slip stitch socks by Anna Lindmark. And this is in Baby Bee Sweet Delight acrylic yarn. Again, indestructible. I can walk on it. Check out these cables. Slip stitch. Yeah. So they're actually worked this way. So you can see the rows, the way the colors are going. And you work the calf, then you add the heel, and then you seam it up after it's worked flat. They're incredibly comfortable, very easy, and very stretchy, which is the other thing people don't like about crochet socks. So if you're not sure about socks, give those a try. But I also have a few other patterns that I've made that I like quite a bit. And I would use, so a couple of them call for single crochet. I would use that extended single crochet. It just softens it up a little bit. The first is In Your Shoes Ankle Socks by Pam of Pam Crochets. And here's my pair. So they're the most comfortable, they fit the best. I used worsted cotton for that pair because I wanted to just wear them around the house. But she's right. If you use sock yarn, you could wear them inside your shoes. They'd be completely comfortable. Absolutely wonderful. The next is Twist and Shout Socks by Lauren Irving. Again with the cables, which I love. Here's my pair. Yeah, you probably see a theme there, don't you, with Baby Bee Sweet Delight. But again, I made them a little extra wide at the ankle because of my arthritis issues, but they're so, so comfortable. And I would wear them around the house all the time when I could bear to have the fabric over my toes. So they're, the nice thing about that pattern is that it has one stitch pattern on the top of the foot and a different stitch pattern on the bottom of the foot, which is why I have them photographed this way. Just to remind you, so that you can see that different stitch pattern. That's what makes them walkable. So the pretty stuff on the top, comfortable stuff on the bottom, it works out wonderfully. And then one of my other favorite sock designers is Nicole Carney. She's got several patterns on Ravelry. My favorite was Sunny Citrus, which had a great little stitch pattern, and I did in rainbow cotton thread. Aren't those crazy? So fun. Great patterns, well written. She's got a whole bunch of different designs though, so go check them out. Any of those, any and all of those are awesome. So the real thing to watch for is your yarn choice, Make sure that you have a soft yarn. If you're going to do something like cotton thread, which I did to make it so colorful, be aware that those aren't going to be as comfortable as, say, you know, the soft smushy acrylic ones that I made that twist and shout. And so be sure that you pay attention to that. But there are a couple of really cool wool-free sock yarns out there right now. So take a look for those. I think one is called wool-free lace, and another one is just wool-free. I'm not sure exactly what they're called because I don't have them to show you. But then the other one that I like is actually at Michael's. The only yarn I really like at Michael's is their wool-free lace there. It's all acrylic, but it's really fine to be perfect for socks. So I'll link the patterns to the ones that I mentioned here so you can give them a try, see what you think. The slip stitch pattern looks like a fair amount of work, but it's pretty easy. If you just need to use a big enough hook so that you can see those loops, and they're so stretchy and comfortable. Lastly, the pattern, I don't really have a pattern for it, but one of my friends makes a lot of socks using back loop only, and that adds a lot of stretch, especially if you use that wool-free sock yarn that's got some elastic in it. So that's my update for today. I hope that some of that information was helpful to you. I hope to hear from you with all my questions, and I look forward to talking to you next time. Bye.